disaster must come. At best, only postponed. Shaolin Kung Fu, to survive, must now be taught to more young men.
Welcome once again to another episode of Kicks, and Flixx, the podcast about martial arts, movies, and life. I am one of your hosts, Eugene Plowden, and with me, as always, my podcast partners, Joe Hartley and Angel Diaz. What's up, fellas?
What's up?
What's happening?
If this is your first time with us, I want you to know we are members of the Martial Arts Network. On Tuesdays, we got the Inside Scoop with Alex and Jeff. On Wednesdays is us, Kicks, and Flixx with Gene, Joe, and Angel.
On
Go ahead,
Thursday, we got the traditional way with Brett Shumway. And every other week, we got the extra scoop with Peyton Fender and Jeff Doss.
And did you guys watch the round table that the main gang did?
I watched it. I'm mad I could not be on there, but I watched it. Thank you for shouting me out. And also thank you for saying I picked terrible movies.
Listen, we got to tell how it is.
All the reason I just wanted you guys to know. Did you guys hear about the new show that's coming? Ice Cold
Yes, I did.
Combos.
Yeah, I already knew that. Also, I have more beef with you, but I'm gonna wait till we get the show started.
We're gonna get into that in a minute.
Yeah.
Ice Cold Combos with Jack Felton and Chris Walker. For more information, you can check us out on all of our social media platforms. Just look for the Martial Arts Network on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, Patreon. Fellas, it's showtime. What's going on?
What's up, man? First off, Happy New Year to you both.
Yes, Happy New Year's.
Yeah,
Happy New Year to our listeners, too.
Yes,
for sure.
Happy New Year's, everybody. Everybody, I want to tell you right now, I get any Buffalo Wild Wings gift cards for Christmas. That's fine. We have 365 days. Let's get rocking and rolling.
There you go. My wife got a bunch of gift cards, mostly coffee and Target. And I try to take advantage of that, but she hit them all for me. The Target I don't care about, but the Starbucks.
I'm about to say Target, bro. Shoot, Target's the place to go.
I'm gonna pick Target over Starbucks.
Yeah,
I'm not a coffee guy, but
yeah.
When I can save $5 on a coffee from Starbucks, I'm good. Anyhow, other than that, man, just been working like crazy. They don't let me have no holidays. Like I'm low man on the totem pole. So for us, you get a sheet that says, do you want to work the holiday? You put, yes or no. If you volunteer, they'll let you work it. You get a little extra money or whatever, no problem. And then if you say no, they can force you in. I'm so low on the pecking order, they force me in for every single holiday. And I'm like,
well, you get time and a half for working the holiday, right?
Well, so you normally would, but what they do for us is, so if you don't work the holiday and you stay home, you get paid. But if you work the holiday, you get paid still. You get your holiday pay plus what you make for the day. So call it what you. Some people like to call it double time. It's not double time because double time is double the pay. So, but I mean, it is nice. It was a nice slow addition to my check. So
can I
basically
just
like
ask,
working an extra day for free?
Can I just ask, bro? Like, how are you so low if you've been working there so long?
So on midnights, like I'm right in the middle. But now that I switched to days is where the retired people are, like the 20 plus years people are. So I'm competing with that. I was lucky to get on days, and technically, like I've been there for like 6 years, but my first 3 years it was a contractor. And so your seniority, I still get that seniority like towards my retirement, but it only starts counting for seniority against other people when I get rolled over as an actual employee, which is I've only been like 3.5 years or something like that. It's fine, it's no big deal, but I get home by 3, and Christmas they let us leave a half hour early, so that was nice. But I had to
I don't know why, bro. I thought you'd been there for 10 years or 10 plus. I don't know why.
I did too.
Yeah, I thought you'd been there for 10 plus. I don't know why I thought that. That's why I was just like,
that'd be nice.
But at least the good thing is, dude, at least you're on days. I mean, I don't know. I think that's a good thing.
No, it's been helpful for the family and for holidays, because before for the holidays, like I would get up, go do the holiday, and then I'd have to check out early, can't really, if I wanted to drink, I can't really do that because I still got to go to work. I mean, I could if I wanted to. Some people still do that, but it's not my life. I don't want to be spending a day in a drunk tank. But anyhow, other than that, just been working. We had a couple people retire, so that'll help me move up a little bit, but not much. And what else happened? Something
New
happened.
Year. What you do for New Year's Eve?
New Year's Eve, I went and hung out at my mom's. We played games with my cousin, Pictionary, Uno, Clue, all that fun stuff.
Did you go shoot the sky up?
We had little poppers, but nah, I didn't bring my gun. I left it at home. I mean, technically, I have to leave it at home because it's still registered in my dad's name.
Okay.
So until I register it and get a CCW, I really can't carry it.
Gotcha.
So, oh yeah, and then
I'm surprised you don't have one. Honestly, I'm surprised you don't have a CCW.
I've been meaning to get one. It's just first off, it's $500 just to take the test. And then you got to sit through. I got to do an online thing, and then you got to sit through like a 3-hour. Which I do have a friend that told me like they could, push me through a little bit, but I still got to do the class. So we can make it a little easier on me. So maybe one day. But what was the other thing? Oh, so New Year's Day went over to my mother-in-law's because we missed Christmas with them because we had a stomach flu flying through my family, and I just don't even know, like. Knock on everything, I still have been good. I'm shot. I'm just waiting for the ball to drop, but I'm just stay away from me. I love you, Lysol. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't want to be sick, but it's just we've had colds, we've had the flu, we've had stomach bugs go through this family, and I'm just like somehow dodging it for now. So it'll catch me eventually. But
Angel is like the opposite of you.
Well, he's in the he's a teacher, so that's
what I told him. That's what I was telling him.
As a teacher, you're
it's
just
ridiculous.
Like
it's not even funny, man. Oh, I'm so angry about it. I'm so angry. You have no idea. I'm still like not in the best shape.
I can hear it in your voice.
I'm still not in the best shape. Like today, I was not even gonna train today. I had to like force myself to go train because I was like, I just have to do something at this point. Like I can't. Like
you do feel better after that. Like I remember.
I don't feel. I feel better, but I still want to cough. It's just.
I've won multiple karate tournaments sick as a dog, and I won 2 wrestling tournaments sick as a dog.
Yeah,
it was just like push through it, and like you just get this adrenaline, and then you just like fall out at the end.
Yeah.
So, and last but not least, man, where my Roll Tide people? Because we were supposed to get killed. Anybody want to tell me the story of that game? We were supposed to get killed.
God.
We still alive. We still alive, people.
Yeah, one more game.
Bring on that.
When's the game? When's the game?
Monday.
Okay.
Monday night. They got us favored by 5, which I like it better when we're underdogs.
Yeah, I'm about to say it better be an underdog. It better be the underdog. Be the underdog. Don't be favored. Be the underdog.
It'll probably get bet down.
It'll probably change.
We were up. The original line for Alabama was 3, and it got bet down to 1. So I'm guessing this will get bet down to like 3, if I had to guess. Because a lot of people are probably going to put their money on Michigan, but then a lot of people, if you play that over under game, which I never try to play that because I always get it wrong.
Yeah, I don't.
Especially for college. I'm telling you, a college game, like rarely ever, especially at the beginning of the season when they're giving us like 30 points. I'm like, come on, man.
I don't bet on sports at all. Honestly, I can't do it.
I'll do the NFL, sometimes the NBA. So I got friends that do crazy parlays, man. You could do. Did you see that parlay? I think it was week 15. This guy just needed a Christian McCaffrey touchdown.
Yep.
$5. He turned it into $480,000.
Yep.
It was a 14-leg parlay. That was crazy. Wow. I would not have I mean, I guess it's only $5, but still, man. The second you start seeing all the dominoes fall, and then you're like, oh my God, this is just going on. I probably would have.
I'm gonna be honest with you right now. I'm gonna tell you right now. I win that, I'll fucking retire. Sounds crazy.
You're gonna need more than that to retire.
Yeah, you're gonna need more than 80,000.
I'll go into work. The next day. Let someone say something slick to me. Over and know it.
Listen, I've said that. I told people don't let me win the lottery because I'm gonna buy out the post office and shut it down. Nobody's getting no more mail. Go somewhere else.
Oh,
I'm gonna give severance pay to all my friends and the rest of the people, and then I'm shutting it down. Forget this place. And one of my old jobs too, I'm gonna take that place over. I'm gonna shut it down too, because they did me dirty. And that's all I can say about that. Angel,
Joe, let me ask you something real quick. I mean,
What's
not
up?
to,
What's up?
I wasn't even expecting to ask you this question, but since you just said that, let me ask you this. We were talking earlier. You were talking about the old timers at your job. Do they ever talk about now that there's not as much mail to handle that they used to have
Man,
because
they'll
of
tell
the
you
email?
everything
Mhm.
from back in the day. Like the way they used to do stuff compared to the way it is now is so crazy to me. Like, and it could still be improved now. Like we're still running kind of on an older system, but I mean, it's pretty efficient for the most part.
I mean, I just
But
don't understand like why we really still have mail. Like, why is mail still? Why is that still? Like,
everybody
when the
says
last
that because
time? I can't tell you when the last time I actually mailed a letter or mailed something.
yeah, but this is where the big money's coming in. It was packages, and it still is. Like
Mhm.
our biggest business is packages.
I get
But
that.
when
That
I
makes
first got there, we had an Amazon account. But once Amazon started putting hubs
Mhm.
closer to us, why would they pay us when they got their own now?
Okay, I got you.
Because if you remember, Amazon trucks weren't really a thing.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
had
yeah,
like
yeah.
a couple of white vans, like contractor, like work, and then the rest was going who's ever the cheapest. USPS, what can Brown do for you? FedEx,
Mhm,
whatever the DHL or whatever, all those.
mhm.
But like I said, we were always the cheapest, so they had a contract with us for a while. And I think like their volume is so huge, they really had no choice but to buy their own hubs because I mean, you can order stuff now on Amazon and get it in 6 hours.
Yeah, yeah. And I
And
thought
there's
that's
no
what I was
lot.
doing earlier when I ordered something, and it said I can get it today before 5, and I got a
I
message
know
saying it's not coming until tomorrow.
one of my friends didn't realize that because I realized like when I order my coffee, it comes in 6 hours. Um, she said, "What is this magic?" She said, "I ordered something that just showed up." I was like, "They're trying to get it faster than 6 hours. They want you to be able to order that stuff and have it within like 1 or 2 hours."
That's gonna change the game when they get to doing stuff like that.
They're working on it. Bezos
Angel,
wants all his money.
Angel, what's going on, man?
bro, I'm just getting over the sickness. That's all it is, man. That's all it
What's your
is.
problem with me, Angel? What's your beef, man? What's your beef?
All
What
right,
did I
so
do to you?
I'm gonna lay it out in chronological order. So I'm sick as a dog. I'm sick as a dog watching this live stream, and I'm like, yo, like I just can't. So then I'm listening, and all I hear is I don't know if they said what was like your lowest part of 2023 or what's something you wish you could have done better. And Gene feels the need to think and goes, ah man, fuck it. It's just the movies Angels picked were just terrible. And I'm like, wow. He feels the need to just say that so eloquently and so nicely, right? Cool. Then he informs Travis that we made a decision without even talking to him and that we're going to do our own show, which we
Travis
all
don't
talked
care.
about, together. I was fine with that. Then I got upset because I have been talking about wanting to do an MMA show. And someone feels the need to sit there and say, yeah, we're going to start an MMA show. You know, it's going to be me and Steve, get that rolling, and anyone else who wants to join. And I'm like, I don't even know why I talk anymore at this point.
Okay,
I
hold on
might
one
as well
second
just
before you
keep my
continue.
mouth
Hold on one
shut.
second. Hold on
Go
one
ahead.
second. One quick second.
I know what
before
you're
you
going to
continue.
say. I know what
What's
you're going
that?
to say. So go ahead.
What-
Go ahead.
what-
No,
what's
go ahead
that?
and say it so
Okay,
that way I can know I'm right.
Joe. Out of all three of us,
Here we go. And there we go. Stop, done. Stop, done.
all
Stop, done.
three of
Stop,
us.
done. Stop, done. Stop, done. Listen,
What?
if we do it during the weekday, that's easier for me. I can do that during the weekday. That's fine. That's fine. That second show I can do during the weekday. That's cool. Right?
That's
When I travel back on Sundays, that's the only reason why I can't do it. But also every 2 weeks, I can't even talk. As you said before, you can hear my voice. I am dying. I don't know what it is. I've been I've literally been keeping a track on a calendar. Every 2 weeks I get sick. Every 2 weeks. I don't know what it is. I can't I'm doing everything the right way. At one point I thought it was me bundling up. I go to work with like 5 layers on. It's ridiculous. So it's driving me nuts. I understand that. But what you could do is at least just ask. At least just ask me. Ask me, right? Ask me.
So
let me be like, oh, nah, I can't, or I don't know if I can fit it into my schedule. Or what if I hit you with the, hey, maybe I can. Maybe I can.
This probably gonna piss you off even more. What I'm about to say now. So Chris Walker is probably going to join us quite a bit on that show. Chris said that he would love to do a jiu-jitsu and MMA show. So
I would love to do it. Me and Chris talk back and forth about these things.
You and Chris are welcome anytime. The more the merrier. I have no problem with you. But like I'm saying, and this will actually be perfect, seeing how the more people, because if you miss Angel, it's fine. We can still have the show without
That's okay. I watch all the fights. You guys know that. I'm always the first one talking about all the fights.
You're right.
It's UFC, whether it's karate combat, even when we're like watching stuff, if it has any type of jiu-jitsu influence in our movies, I'm the first one to call out like, oh, that's an Eminari roll, or he went to like the Kimura to the back. Like, I'm the first one to start calling it out. I love that stuff. I love it. Then on top of that, I've then talked about, hey, maybe we should do like a WWE podcast with Jeff, and we should do that with Joe. What does everyone say? I don't know if you could be in it though.
No.
Travis don't include me.
Me and Travis talked about that. He doesn't have a problem with us doing.
You don't include me. And I just want to say, all you guys, no. All you guys don't include me.
That's not making sense. That's not making sense. What you just said is not making sense. Joe, I have a question, and because you have no dog in this fight, right? So, what is actually stopping Angel from doing these shows himself?
You guys are both wearing a Michigan hat. He obviously is biased. He's obviously biased.
He's not. Like literally, like
I have another thing because a while back, Travis asked Chris, myself, and Angel if we wanted to do a MMA podcast.
And I was down.
I know.
I think it was one of the first ones that got
about it, and we never did anything about it.
So that's my fault?
No, I'm not saying. I'm just saying.
Not you. I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about Angel because he's actually acting like he's blaming me for not doing this.
This is what I'm blaming. I'm blaming you, specifically you.
Blame me.
I'm gonna blame you because you know more stuff than I do. You talk. You live. That. Our director, our boss, literally is your kin. He is blood with you.
Travis, Angel, you're not looking at this realistically. Travis does not care about content. Travis wants content for the Martial Arts Internet Network.
If that's the case,
say no.
But there's the thing, though. How is he going to do okay?
Travis will let you do a show about dogs doing karate. He doesn't care. He's not going to stop it. He's going to be like, all right, let's do it. Karate dogs, let's go. If you can pull this shit off, I'm going to be impressed. He is not going to stop you. He's going to let you do it. If you want to do martial art talk about that sword, remember when you posted that sword fighting thing? If you wanted to do a show about that, point fighting with those
padded swords, padded sword fighting is I know you guys talk bad about it. That was crazy. Me and Travis, literally, Travis goes, "You should probably get that." Said, "I want to go do that."
See, if he's not going to stop, Travis is not going to stop any content. He wants more and more content. So that's on you. If you wanted to do the MMA show,
I understand that, but it also doesn't work when all of us are saying different stuff and we're all trying to move in our own realm. But we need to all come together. We need to come together. All I'm saying is, you are coming together, and then when you come together, you go, yeah, but fuck that other guy. Let's just
that was not the case.
No.
That was not the case. Number one, let me break it out real quick, Joe. Then you jump in, Joe. Number one, I did not know if you trained jiu-jitsu. I didn't know that. Okay,
I told you this for like 2 years.
No. What belt are you?
White.
Okay. I just recently got back started in August in doing jiu-jitsu. All right. So, and then when I hired Steve to come into my school, he's a purple belt. right? So just us being in the school, we were already talking about it. Plus, I want to learn more. So as I'm asking him questions, that's what made me think, okay, maybe me and him can do a show together. I knew Chris. Is Chris a brown belt or is he a black belt?
He's no, he's not black. Either
Then
he's
he's
brown
brown.
or
Then
he's
he's
a
up
purple.
there. He's not
Is he
purple.
purple or did he just got a promotion then? He just got a promotion, I think. So I think he went to brown.
I'm not sure, but I know he was up
He's
there.
not a black belt. I know he's not a
high
black
ranking.
belt.
I know he's a high
Yeah, I
ranking.
know he's not a black belt, but I know like Chris is like really high up there, and he's like in competitive jujitsu. He's like really good, really,
Right.
really good. I've seen Jeff do
I
it.
don't know
I've
anything
seen
about you.
Chris do it in person.
I didn't know. So listen, only reason I threw the MMA part in there is because there's only so much jujitsu that I can talk about because I'm a white belt. I'm new at it. So now Steve probably can talk about, for 30 minutes or hour, but I couldn't. So that's why I threw the MMA thing in there. I knew if I just did an MMA show, I probably would be bored within 5 months. I can't. It's and number one. It's too much MMA and shows. It's too many shows.
Well, yeah,
And
because if you're doing local, regional, or national, that's where it gets tough.
it's no, well, not even that. I mean, UFC shows because they put on a show just about every weekend. UFC or Bellator.
Well, yeah,
has
because it's
every
not
weekend.
Bellator anymore, but UFC does.
And this is the thing about it. A lot of those guys, they don't seem like they're as exciting or as dramatic as some of the older MMA fights because it's so much
Yeah,
of it. It's like it's oversaturated
it's
now.
it's a saturated market. I'll give you that.
Yeah, so I didn't want to have to watch every single, you know, UFC show. If they have a show on Wednesday night on ESPN, I don't want to watch that.
The Contender Series.
No, I'm talking about if they just had like a fight night or
Oh
something
yeah,
like that.
yeah.
I just kind of wanted to cover the big events that they had when it came to MMA. But the more the merrier. So if you guys can, all come on and break it down, that's
This was the
less for me
only
to have
thing I'm
to
gonna
look
say.
and I can just listen.
Only thing I'm gonna say is this: you knew I was a white belt because
No,
we
I
talked
didn't.
about how. Stop.
I promise you, I didn't.
We talked about. Gene, I remember because we
Okay.
talked about how my instructor left the school that I was learning from.
I don't
And
know
then
what
you
you're
and I
talking
both
about
were
right
going.
now. I really don't know what you're talking about. Do you remember this show, this conversation?
Not really.
I don't remember it at all. Not really. I'm not doing a bit either, Angel. I really don't remember.
I swear, man,
I
this is so
really
tough.
don't remember. I really don't remember. Only thing I really do remember you talking about is the wrestling show with Jeff. And Jeff's thing about doing the wrestling show was
there's too many shows because we have to do
yeah,
the end.
yeah,
You have to do
I
the indies.
I don't necessarily. No. That's not what he's talking about. He was talking about there's a lot of other wrestling podcast shows out there, and he wanted to know what could we do that will be different to separate us from the other podcasts. And he really couldn't come up with nothing, and I really couldn't either. But yet, still, I don't care. I don't mind just talking about wrestling. I actually like wrestling more than MMA. Pro wrestling, I enjoy that more than MMA. I can watch that stuff. I mean, every day. I'm into it. I can do that, but not so much MMA. But anyway, so I mean, if you get to a point where there's only so much time in the day and throughout the week. Joe and I and Dwight are going to be starting up our show, our other podcast pretty soon, not on the Martial Arts Center Network. So I'm going to be doing a lot of talking pretty soon. Melissa wants to do a show with me, so that's going to be fun. She named it Wine a Lot, and yeah, it's gonna be a show about relationships and drinking wine, and I don't know shit about wine. There's only so much I'm gonna be able to talk about. So she's gonna have to
I
break
don't know
this
about
ice
wine,
down.
but I could do a relationship podcast with my wife easily.
Oh,
By the way, Gene, congratulations.
Yes.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you. That's something. I'll get into that in a minute because we're working on that plan and that now, and we tearing up paper and like, what, fuck it, we gonna do something. We just gonna bounce. So I'll get into that in a minute. Angel, anything else you want to talk about, man?
No, man. I got that off my chest.
You feel better?
I'll feel better when I'm on the show. False promises. So I'll
tell
feel
you this,
better when
man.
I'm on
The
the
only
show.
time, so Steve works a lot. In addition to coming to my school, he comes every other Tuesday and he's there every Friday teaching jujitsu at my school. And then also, he works full time and then he trains himself because he's still a competitor also. And I think he said he's getting ready for a tournament. He might be getting ready for a tournament in March. and and he does boxing also on Monday and Wednesday night. He boxes, and jujitsu on Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. So the only time that he really has to record is Sunday nights at 8 o'clock, right before we record our show. So I said, okay, that's cool. I'm okay with that. That's cool. So if you're free at that time and on that day, just come on in, man. I'll
Let
make
me
sure
know
that
when we start.
I'll make sure you're on
Let
the
me
Facebook link.
let me know when we start. Yeah, how about you do that? Put me in the group message.
All right,
Let
I
me do
got you.
that. Yeah,
There you go. So
perfect.
you won't cry. So okay. So I'll continue now. I will continue now. So yeah, man. I got to enjoy myself last week, man. I did not do anything. I didn't work. I had time off, and then I didn't teach either. And I actually this week, so I opened the school back up yesterday. And yesterday's attendance and today's attendance let me know that I probably should have kept this week closed also. Angel, I don't know about you. Are you guys, I think I asked you this.
I
You
closed
guys
for
are
the
not back in
holiday
school, right? You guys
for my credit school or my job.
work your job.
Yeah, yeah.
You guys are still out, right?
No,
No,
I
they
went
went
back
Wednesday.
Tuesday.
You went back Tuesday. Okay, so
Oh,
that's
mine
how it
went
used
back
to
for
be
the first
here.
time today.
Your
Yeah, I went
kids
back
went back
Tuesday.
today. Okay, so the Detroit schools are still out.
Yeah,
So
as they should be.
DJ didn't go to school, and then Champ, he's out. They don't go back to school until Monday next week.
Are they year round?
No.
Oh,
What
that's
So
the
crazy.
hell?
I'm gonna tell you. So when I was a kid, we had the week before Christmas off, and we had the week off between Christmas and New Year, and we went back
Yeah,
to school the very next day after New Year.
that's how it used to
These
be.
Yeah, these kids now, like Detroit, these kids went up to the last day. They went to school on that Friday before the holiday. So they're still getting their 2 weeks off. They just don't get that week off before the holiday. So they got it on the back end. So that's why they're out of school. So and yesterday I didn't have that many kids. I only had five. I had two classes yesterday. I only had five kids show up. And
Dang.
then today the same thing. Only had five kids show up today. Three in the first class, two in the second. So that just lets me know that this year for holiday, I'm just gonna take those 2 weeks off at the end of the year. Because I don't know why a lot of parents tie their kids' school activities with karate. A lot of times, if it's a day off of school and the kids don't have to go to school, I'll get calls or text messages asking if we have karate. You know, and I'm like, yeah, we still have class. The only time I close the school is if I'm out of town or if the weather's bad, and now that the weather's bad, we just do it from home on Zoom anyway. But the holiday season is the only time I really close the school. So yeah, so I just got to stay home, just relax and chill. Me and Melissa, we just spent a lot of time together. The last week, and we're doing some wedding planning, and yeah, we're probably just gonna be out. We're looking at just doing it in Hawaii, just bouncing and just doing the whole wedding there, just me and her. And then what we're yeah, I did, you heard that right. Just me and her. That's what we're looking at right now. And then what we're probably going to do is when we come back, we're going to possibly rent a mansion and just have people come to the mansion for a big party. So that's what we're looking at because that's going to be cheaper than the damn wedding. I'm not going broke. And she don't want to do it either. We're not about to
Don't
go.
take a loan out. Don't take a loan out on your
No, we're
wedding,
not
bro.
doing that. We're not spending 20, thirty
Do
thousand
that.
dollars for everybody else to have a good time.
Yeah,
That's
hell no.
that's that's not about to happen. So I looked up, Joe. I looked up some mansions in Michigan. And I could rent a mansion for about $500 for the day.
That's
You
good.
know, yeah. So 3 days, $1,500. That is a lot cheaper than some expensive ass ballroom for a couple hours. That's not happening. So we're looking at our options and everything, man, and figuring it out. And I told her, I said, whatever you want, let's do it. But I know her, and she's not going to deal with being stressed out, with family and friends and trying to
Hmm.
keep the bills down on the wedding and everything. Like I saw her the first day, as soon as she started telling people that we were engaged, and she was getting stressed out day one. So I said, yeah, if you want to bounce, we can just bounce. Let's make it easy on ourselves. So we're looking at some stuff, man, and we'll nail it down and figure out what we're gonna do.
No,
Yeah,
that's
That's
good
all.
though. It works for you.
That's great.
yeah. Um, And of course, Saturday, Joe and I had a heartbreaker. It's a bullshit Lions game that we got absolutely robbed. But I would have went for the one after that. You know, the 2 point conversion didn't work. I wouldn't have went
He's
for it
he's
again.
too stubborn. I
He,
agree, but he's too stubborn.
yeah, I kind of would have gambled. Probably would have gambled in overtime. Hopefully overtime. You know, but I hate when I see small little mistakes early in the game, and I think, damn it, I already know that's going to cost us later. Like
Oh
when
yeah,
I forgot what my man what player, but you know Dak was in the he was in the end zone. All he had to do was just wrap him up, and we could have had a safety, and he didn't. He
bad
just kind of walked by
bad
and kind of
tackling.
bumped him.
Yep.
Yeah,
Well, that missed extra point.
yeah,
I mean, that was the game right there.
yeah. So, man, the Lions they take us through some stuff, don't they, Joe?
Yeah, they really do. But
Best year you guys had in a
I feel
while, though.
like it's setting up this. I feel like just the fate is setting up this narrative where they want us to play Matt Stafford at home
Yeah,
because
yeah.
that's what we're looking at right now.
Hmm.
Stafford and San Francisco's benching their people because they're already set where they're going to be. And I don't think it. I think can we get the 2 spot still?
Yeah, we can. So what has to
So if we
happen
do,
is
then we have
Dallas
to
has
beat
to lose.
Minnesota, and Minnesota has to win. So
No. If we beat Minnesota and then Dallas has to lose, but I doubt if they lose to the Commanders. That I don't think that's happening. And
no, me
also
neither.
Philadelphia has to lose to New York, I think. And if they lose to New York, that I don't
That could
think.
happen.
I mean, if Dallas and Philadelphia rest their starters, that could happen. You know, but I don't know if they're going to do that. You know,
Philadelphia
so
already lost to Arizona.
yeah, yeah.
That's
But
pretty sad.
and then we had a big win Monday night. The
Yes,
Michigan
sir.
Wolverines won. Angel, you said you didn't have a college team, right?
No, I don't have a for football. No.
Yeah, you do now. So you're a Michigan guy with us. You're on our team now.
Yep. Get a
So
hat.
we got
I'm
to
gonna
make
tell
sure
you
we
what.
do some
I'll
stuff.
tell you what though. To be honest with you,
Get a
if
hat.
there
Get a
Time to
shoe.
wasn't,
join the team. It's a good
if
time to
there, you guys have sold me on a Michigan. On Michigan, I'm not gonna lie to you. You guys have sold me only because of like how you said everyone just always feels the need to talk shit about them.
yeah, just for
So
no
so
reason.
for me on that, I'm kind of like, all right, now I want them to win. Like, go ahead.
Yeah, you know what, Joe?
Like, go ahead.
This somebody I know who went to school with Trav. He posted he posted congratulations to the University of Ypsilanti on their win against Alabama. Now it's like, come on now, why are you hating? Why? Like why? Like
Because they
you
ain't
guys
there.
haven't done anything to us in 2 years. You guys haven't done anything. State has not done anything. And I showed Melissa too because I told her years ago. I said she asked me why I don't like Michigan State, and I say they are always the first ones to fire shots at us for no reason. You
Yeah,
know.
the people were posting that thing of Sparty holding the Alabama flag. Sparty
Yeah.
knows. They don't know nothing.
Anyway, so that's pretty much it, man. That's been it. I went back to work yesterday. I'm back out there, and I opened the school back up today. So back to the normal grind now. So let's talk about Sidekicks. This should not be a long movie review.
No.
Once again, I reviewed this movie before, but you guys haven't reviewed the movie. So let's talk about it. Sidekicks.
And I will say this. I really enjoyed your guys' review but I did want to talk about it myself. So,
Okay.
because you
I like
had
this movie.
this was with Jeff and with Wayne, right?
I think so. I don't
Or was it
remember, but I
Alex?
think so.
Was it Alex?
I can't remember. I can't remember.
I know it was one of them, and then
I think
they
it was
brought
Jeff. I think it was Jeff.
It would
yeah, I
make
think
sense
so
if
too.
it's Jeff because Jeff knows them. Jeff
Yeah.
knows Wayne.
Yeah.
So and that was cool. I like when people are in the movie and can
You
kind of
get to hear
tell
the
us stuff.
behind the scenes stuff. Yeah.
And there's
Yeah,
only one
that's
thing I
why
did not like about this movie. Only one thing.
Joe Pisco.
Yeah, well, he's part of it. Yeah. So all of the silly daydreaming stuff. Like I don't mind that they did the daydreaming. That's fine. But the silliness of it is what I did not like. Like just make it serious. Like it has to
Yeah.
be goofy. And Joe Piscopo, he was just overdoing it.
Oh, of course. That's what he does though. You know what killed me in this movie is like his first like 4 or 5 daydreams are all about his teacher.
Yeah. Yeah.
like I realized she was nice to you, but like,
Mhm.
why don't you daydream about some girls your own age, bro?
Well,
All I'm
he
saying.
eventually he eventually does, you
I
know.
know eventually,
Now
but
that teacher was probably the only person that was giving him attention. So
and the other problem I have, and I realized like at the time this movie was done, people didn't know enough. But asthma does not make you slow
I
or
don't think he
I
was.
that.
I don't
have
think.
bad asthma. I have bad asthma. When I saw that, I said, "Y'all gotta stop.
My
Is
brother
that
had
what y'all thought?
asthma,
Y'all
and
gotta
I
stop."
didn't
my
think
brother
that.
was able to do martial arts, no problem. He
Mhm.
was able to do wrestling, no problem. He used to cut out on some of the running, but my brother did everything, no problem. And nobody treated him different because he had asthma. I mean,
They
he was
treated him
never
like he
like.
had like a. They treated him like he was special ed because of asthma.
I
That's
don't
what I'm
think they.
saying. That's what bothered me.
I don't think they treated him like that because of asthma. I think they treated him like that because he was constantly daydreaming for no reason. And I don't know about you guys, but I went to school with some weird kids, and every now and then, they would do something weird like that. You know,
Really? That
yes.
is crazy.
Now they didn't have asthma. But they would. I'll tell you some stuff off. I'll tell you some stuff off. I'm not going to do it on the show.
So
I'm not going to do it on the show.
literally, the movie
But
starts out. He's in a daydream. He's fighting ninjas and some weirdo, and his teacher is the one that's being held captive. And I don't think Chuck Norris comes in on this one.
if you had an attractive teacher, did you guys have attractive teachers? Because I never did.
Chuck
All of
Norris
I
my
was
had
there on the
one.
first. Chuck Norris was there on the first Daydream.
Oh, okay, I must have missed it.
Because he was the white ninja,
Oh
yes.
yeah, yeah,
and Barry. That's his name, Barry. Am I right?
Hmm.
yeah. Yeah.
Barry was his sidekick. And he was the second white ninja.
I had one attractive normal teacher in high school, but I had two substitute teachers, like house subs, that were extremely attractive,
See, I
and
didn't
it
have any.
was a problem.
I had zero ever.
And
So
the one was real. She was probably like 24, and she was real flirty too. It was bad. Like we would be in the middle of class, and I was in the math class with all the bad kids, and like we would do the lesson, and then I don't remember how, but me and this other guy who knew karate, she was asking us to teach her some karate,
yeah, and
and I
see,
was
that's
like,
how you
and
end up on the
I
news.
looked
That's
at this dude
how
because
you end up on
the
the
other
news.
guy, I was a freshman and he was a senior, and he looked like he was about 25. I was like, I looked at him one
That's
day and I was
how.
like, man, I was like, we're gonna end up on the news. I'm done. See ya.
That's how. What you call it? What does Gene say? You do it with your black belt on, man. That's how. That's how it starts. Start doing stuff with your black belt on.
I didn't think
But yeah,
Angel
yeah.
would say
So
anything like that.
yeah, so Joe, to answer your question, man, I mean, just think about it. At the end of this first daydream, because we don't know he's daydreaming at first, right? It just the movie kind of
Yeah,
start in his daydream. So when he wakes up, he's talking to Chuck Norris in his daydream, but he's in his
yeah.
classroom, right? So wouldn't you think somebody is weird if
Oh,
the
100%.
kid next
That
to
is
you is
odd.
talking?
That is odd.
Yeah. So I mean, he would do this throughout. He did this throughout the movie. He was climbing the rope in
Yep.
class and daydreaming and talking. It's one thing to daydream, but when you're talking to your daydream in real life, that that could be a problem. And kids are cruel, so
Oh, 100%.
they can smell blood. So if you're acting weird and doing weird things, uh, especially a kid that's a bully, like what was that kid's name? The main bully.
Wasn't it Randy?
Yeah,
Well, yeah,
I think
yeah,
so.
yeah, him. Like, of course he's gonna jump all over that.
I mean, from this point on, the movie basically became Karate Kid because he goes to the karate school in town. Joe Piscopo is what's his name, Ken Stone or something like that.
Kelly Stone.
Kelly Stone,
Kelly
yeah,
Stone,
Kelly
and
Stone.
he's John Kreese.
yeah.
He's
Um,
very rude. He's very loud. He doesn't want Barry there because he thinks Barry's weak.
yeah, but unlike the Karate Kid, like these characters were not likable. Like, there's
No,
nothing likable about Kelly Stone. There's nothing likable about Randy. And like when I was watching it, I was thinking about Daniel's first interaction with Johnny, and Johnny did not like Daniel because he was a weird kid. He didn't like him because he's butting into his relationship. And
Yeah.
that's what caused the friction between them. Cobra Kai just seemed a lot cooler. This other kid, Randy, his friends never even spoke. They just were always in the background laughing and stuff. There was nothing likable about anything about those guys.
And then some of these movies that we are kind of getting into with Chuck Norris, were these real Chuck Norris movies?
I believe they are real Chuck Norris movies.
Because he had a lot of movies
At
where
one-
he wasn't
I
even
don't know
doing.
if all of
At
them are,
one
but
point,
most of them are.
At one point, I thought one of them was the Octagon or something. Some movie he did like
A
that.
lot of the Chuck Norris movies didn't have him really doing much martial arts. He was usually
No,
No,
like
they
he
a
didn't.
lot of
He never.
guns. That's why I mean, like, we can't really do a whole lot of Chuck Norris movies because I mean, half the time he's just doing military stuff, not even.
But
Yeah.
according to
Except for the
Angel,
old
that's a
movies.
martial arts movie. According to Angel, right? Angel.
Don't do this. Don't get me mad. Don't. Why do you do this? Why do you want to do this? You don't have to get me mad. You don't have to. Like I was over here minding my business, just waiting for my chance to talk.
I'm just
You
saying.
didn't have to do this.
I'm just saying we did the transporter. I'm just saying we did the
That
transporter.
wasn't me. That wasn't me.
That was
That's
me,
what
and I still
That
stand by
was
that.
him. Look at
That's
you.
still-
You just want to blame
no,
me.
No. That is not the point of that statement. The point of that statement was Angel says if you are a martial artist and if you are in a movie, that makes that movie a martial arts movie.
We've gone through this. Don't piss me off, G. Don't piss me off. Don't piss me off, man. Because we're doing this, and I'm about to go back on my Jackie Chan rant. Don't do this to me. Don't do this to me.
At least Jackie
Hey,
Chan
man.
does martial arts movies. But
When
go
we come
ahead.
out, when Rush Hour 4 comes out, we're gonna cover it.
Yeah. What you call it? So I actually I actually really didn't like this movie that much.
Oh wow, really?
Yeah, I actually really didn't like it that much. And not I guess storyline like plot was a little bit annoying, but it was more like what you said, Gene. One was the daydreaming stuff I didn't like.
I mean I don't mind the daydream. I just didn't like the silliness of it.
I don't think like this. To be honest, man, I just think it was too many. There was just too many daydreams. In my
Okay.
personal opinion, I think there was just too many daydreams.
Okay.
The second thing I didn't like was how it was just a reverse Karate Kid. I actually didn't like that at all.
I actually okay.
See, this was my only thing. This is where it's gonna be tough because I did like one thing I did like was something we've all talked about. They had gear. They had actual Century gear that people were buying at that time. It was point karate tournament format. I like that, kind of. I like that it was, Chuck Norris fighting and all that good stuff. I just feel like they made that ending. They just kind of like forced.
I didn't like
Does
the
that
ending.
make sense?
I
Does
didn't
that make sense? And like it forced it. Like he's just all of a sudden there. He's gonna take time to talk to you, and he's just gonna fight. You know what I'm trying to say?
I understand what you're saying. Like it was kind of fake. Like that was kind of fake.
My thing was this, right? We were building up on Barry, and you wanted me to watch him do forms and a breaking.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, I'm like, it just took me out because as I started noticing it had Karate Kid similarities, then he doesn't even fight. And
I actually, like, I'm okay. I understand what you guys are saying when
it's tough. You know what I'm saying?
Kid. I understand what you guys are saying, but I actually think they actually did it better than the Karate Kid when it came to his training, because he was actually training to overcome his asthma. Okay, he wasn't doing silly stuff like wax on, wax off, and paint the house. He was actually teaching him how to control his breathing, and he's doing martial arts. And it wasn't over. I mean, the movie doesn't say this, but you can kind of tell it wasn't over a 3 or 4 week process.
No, it wasn't. That's right. You're right.
Daniel got beat up on Thanksgiving, and he pretty much trained in November, and then he competed in December and won.
And still a black belt.
Yeah, against more than one black belt, against all black belts.
Yeah,
and with this kid, we saw him training for weeks. We saw him training for a long time before he was even competing, and they didn't make it. They didn't make the. I kind of wish him and Randy fought at the end of the movie, but to keep it realistic, like I guess the writer said, like he would not. Number one, we don't want to make it too much like Karate Kid, and number two, I don't think he could beat Randy in a fight, a real fight, a point fighting fight, because they haven't trained him to do that. It's one thing to train somebody for self defense, but point fighting, you're not going to pick that up in 4 weeks like Daniel did. It's just not happening.
Yeah, it's not gonna happen.
It's too
Um,
much timing, distance, and technique that you have to get good at before you, especially to beat black belts.
My
Uh,
my thing was this, man. Also, again, my personal take, and like I said, like I have like a mixed review about this because it's not like I hated the whole thing. It was
mhm.
just little things I guess I just didn't like. It was just I don't know, it's kind of off to me. What I did like how they had forms and weapons in there. I actually did like
Mhm.
that. I thought that was actually pretty cool. What I don't like, you guys can now you can talk to me more about this in terms of like in the 90s and 80s. I don't like how everything was always a team competition. I actually didn't like that. I didn't like that like aspect that it's a team competition. And the other thing I didn't like was we didn't really get to see the teacher train. We didn't get to see Mako or whatever his name was train. They just got out there and just all of a sudden she knew a form. He's breaking bricks and
well,
all that
she was
stuff.
showing her form at the
Yeah, at
dad's
the house.
house,
Yeah.
Yeah, I
and then I
know, but
mean,
like that's
the uncle was
one
the
thing.
uncle was the Miyagi of the group. So I
Mhm.
mean,
I,
he
I
was a
that
good.
again so similar to it was just so similar to Karate Kid. Like I said, not terrible movie. I'm not saying that. It was just a little thing. I guess because it was so similar, naturally I started comparing them. Does that make sense? That
Mhm.
was more
Yeah,
like my issue. But outside of that, I mean, I did kind of like the fighting, honestly. Only at the end. Only at the end. Let me make sure that's clear. Only at the end.
the
I did
Barry
like it.
Randy fight wasn't that terrible. I mean, it was a good setup.
Yeah,
Oh,
I did like the first opening scene when both ninjas they held together. They kind of did like the old school machine gun kicks
roundhouse
in a
kick.
circle.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, I thought that was cool just because we know that that was what was like trending back then. So it was kind of
yeah.
cool just to see like they actually took stuff from actual the open sport karate scene and put it in there. I think. Correct me if I'm wrong. Did you guys see Linda Denley in there? I thought I saw her. She
I
was doing her
yes, doing the
form, right?
form, doing the
She was
form.
doing
She
her
Yeah,
was doing
form,
great.
right? I thought so. I just didn't
I
know because
I
I
did
checked the
too.
credits and I didn't even see her name even mentioned.
Yeah, I did too, Angel, and I also looked it up on Google to see if her name was going to be in there or if
Yeah.
there was something in there. And I thought that was her, and I thought I remember someone saying that was her back in the day, but I
Hmm.
wasn't 100% sure. But I'm almost positive. I'm about 95% sure that was her. Jeff, of course, he's listening right now.
I mean,
He's
Jeff is
gonna
probably
like,
going to tell us right now we
yeah,
missed 90%. There's so many sport karate people in there that we don't even know. Jeff,
right.
obviously, I wasn't there. I just know I saw Linda Denley and I said, oh, damn, look at her. She's doing her form, which I thought
Yeah,
was actually kind of funny because she's
because he's a
doing her
fighter.
form. Yeah, and you would
Right,
have thought you would have seen her doing like a fight
right.
scene or something. So I thought that was actually pretty funny. I mean, like I said, man, it wasn't. I'm not trying to kill the movie. It was good. I think just on my side of it, I was just like, man, like I really feel like it. I don't know. I just it was so close, and then all of a sudden you just make Chuck Norris fight out of nowhere. A part of me was kind of like, what was the point of me watching him train this whole entire movie for? Just
Mhm.
to break bricks that are on fire? It took
Well,
me out. It kind of had some
I'm both
aspects of
with you
Best of
there,
the Best
Angel.
in it,
Yeah,
huh?
but the tournament really wasn't like he didn't have any stake for the tournament other than just beating his bully, which I mean ultimately he did that because the outcome. But the idea was he overcame his daydreaming, he overcame his asthma, he got to learn a skill that can help him throughout life, and he got to meet his hero. So I mean, there's a lot going on in this movie.
Yeah, that is true. I'm not gonna take that away. Like that is true. I think just the way they made Chuck Norris fight at the end was just kind of like
Let me ask you
forced.
this.
It's just
Let me
forced.
let me
That's
ask you
all.
this. Let me ask you this. Would you have liked it if this movie was Sidekicks, but instead of the uncle, it was Mr. Miyagi, and instead of Chuck Norris fighting at the end, Daniel fought? Would you have liked it if it was still Sidekicks, not trying to be gore or
Then what
nothing?
was
It
the
was
point?
still
See,
Sidekicks.
I my only thing is this. I want to say yeah. Do we still get the Chuck Norris fight?
No, you don't get it. It would have been Daniel.
So then
Daniel.
no. It was the point of me even seeing him in the damn movie. I don't even want to see him in it
Well, because
personally.
Chuck, they didn't have to have Chuck Norris at the end of this movie because the whole thing was like Joe just said, he was overcoming the daydreaming stuff that he was going through and overcoming his asthma. And this movie pretty much teaches us it really, even though it was about martial arts, it was showing you that you don't have to train martial arts to be a fighter. You can, there are other things that you're going to get out of being a martial arts except for being a badass fighter, you know, helping you with your concentration and focus, which a lot of kids, especially now, I think even more now than before, like kids, with the way that, kids are being classified as having ADD and ADHD, like that is a benefit now that we really should be pushing and selling, which I really don't. To be honest with you, I never hardly ever talk about that with any new parent that comes in,
Yeah.
and then also, controlling his breathing and learning how to breathe with asthma, and and continue to train with asthma and taking it slow when instead of overdoing it. So if Daniel showed up, so if the karate, if Mr. Miyagi is there for most of the movie, and he says that they need a fourth person, and he calls Daniel to ask Daniel to come help him, and he tells him what was going on with this kid. In realist, if this was real, Daniel definitely, I think, would have showed up to help. Daniel wants to fight anyway. you know, I don't know. I think that could have been cool.
All right. Yeah, I can
So
see it.
so the teacher offers to, because she realizes like Barry likes Chuck Norris. He wants to learn martial arts. He had trouble with the other school, so she has an uncle coming to town, and she said, my uncle's agreed to teach you martial arts if you're willing. And of course, she runs a Chinese restaurant with the uncle. And the first time we meet the uncle, he's at the train station, and he messes. There's a guy there that he's messing with, and he ends up, asking him to have the other Asian gentleman in front of him to put out a cigar. So the guy was very rude about it. So he takes the cigar, puts it in his jacket, and then walks away. So that's like, the uncle's a bit of a jokester. He doesn't take himself very serious. Basically, like Mr. Miyagi.
I think this uncle.
Oh, we lost Gene.
Was a
No, I
lot
get
more
what
I
you're
don't know.
sillier
saying.
than Mr. Miyagi. I actually thought.
Yes, I agree. He was. He did not take anything very serious. But the training, like, as much as he
Hmm.
could, like he tried to step it up a little bit for Barry. Barry had some trouble, so then he brought it back down to Barry's level until he was able to, because the first thing he did, he told him to start, walking to school, and then once he can walk to school normally, it's to start running.
But you know
So
what?
that's
That's
already
messed
going
up.
to help him.
That's messed up because Barry has a bad asthma attack, and they blame it on the training, kind of, because he says,
No, they blame it on stress, and it was stress from getting turned down by
right,
what's her face.
the girl. I don't remember her name.
I
I
want to call
forgot.
her
Lauren.
Winnie.
Lauren. That
I
was her
want to
name.
call her Winnie because it's Winnie from the Wonder Years.
Right. No, it was Lauren. It was Lauren. Because I just
Yeah,
know that because I remember Randy saying Lauren pities you. She doesn't like you. She pities you.
he wasn't wrong at the
He
time.
was. Yeah, he
Right.
was right.
Right. Kind
I
of.
gotta say, I'm gonna tell you how I would have handled that if I was him later. But because she did do him wrong. We're at the restaurant now. Here's the thing that bothers me. Okay, they're at the restaurant and he's throwing dumplings trying to get Barry to catch him. That was a little silly, but whatever. He even comes up with a nickname, Mr. Dumpling. He fights people by bashing them with his face, basically being a face shield. Um, the the daughter earlier said to the dad, "My uncle is going to behave because if he doesn't, I'll break his arm." But then when trouble starts happening in the restaurant, she goes and gets her uncle. So if you can break your uncle's arm and he's scared of you, why didn't you handle this problem?
She wasn't going to handle all those bikers.
Hell no.
I'm just saying, if she supposedly could take her uncle on
Well,
in
that's
her own
one person.
mind,
That's one old man. Like these guys, these guys were a little bit out of her league. I think she might have got
I think
one of
so
them.
too. Yeah, there were some big dudes, but I
Yeah,
mean,
they
he
were. They were.
really didn't do much. He really
He
just
did.
used a lot of momentum and hitting him
Hmm.
with trays and throwing hot water on him and stuff.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, the dad was under the table. Dad's worse than the son. So we see Barry the next day. He's gonna walk to school. He's got his inhaler, and then he does run into Lauren. Of course, he's daydreaming with Chuck again. And Lauren offers him a ride, but he says, no, I got to get some fresh air, blah, 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 whatever. She's always so concerned about him. I understand this idea of like being concerned for somebody, but to pity someone like that, especially like no guy wants that. I don't care who you are. No guy. I don't want a girl to quote unquote be around me or talk to me just because she pities me. Like you're coming after my man card at that point, and that pisses me off. And that really pissed me off at this point because like the way she let's get into it. So later on, Barry's talking to her, and he gets up the courage because things are kind of going well. He's training, he's doing this. He's not quite there, but he gets up the courage to ask her out. And I think she could have let him down a little bit easier, but instead she literally says exactly what Randy said. I mean, she didn't come right out and say it, but she's like, "I worry about you. I do.
I just feel sorry for you."
Yeah, I just feel sorry for you. And it's like, I think you could have been like, you know what, I got a boyfriend, or right now I can't. My parents say I can't date. Like, I feel like, yes, you're being let down, but at least you're not saying, "Oh, I just feel so bad for you. I'll never date."
Well,
you.
hold on. First, let's back up a little bit because what Barry says first. He didn't just come out and say, "Hey, do you want to go out? Hang out, this, that, and other." He asked her on a date because he says, "Like, well, you like me, I like you, so maybe we should." And she's like, "Hold on," because he's moving kind of fast by how he said that.
I agree.
So if he would have just said it differently, I think because then she says, "Well, I like you, I don't like you like that." That's basically what she was saying, and then she gets in.
She piled on it. Okay,
Well,
because
I mean, what else should she have said? Just left it
I
like, "I
told
like you, I
you,
don't like you like that." I don't want you to
no, I
try and
think
hit
you
this.
could
Like, I
have.
don't want to have to
You
let you
gotta
down in.
listen, man. Listen, okay. I'm a straight up. Okay, I've dealt with a little bit of rejection in high school. Okay,
Oh,
actually, quite a bit. Okay, and I've heard it all. But it sting. If someone said that to me, that would sting more than if you were like, "Oh, my dad
She
don't
had
let me
to say it
date,"
at
or
some point, Joe. She had to say that. You waiting for him to be in the movies with his pants down, asking for a hand job, and then she's going to say, "Whoa, hold on, big boy. I don't like you. I don't like you."
no. That is not what I said. You pervy little man. I said she could have worded it different. She didn't have to basically say, "I do pity you." That's basically what she said. Because here's the problem. When he starts standing up for himself and actually starts letting his balls hang a little bit, then she's all about him. Now she's like, "Yeah, sure, we can go out."
Well, yeah, she saw him. She saw him take care of himself.
Okay, but after that, at that point, you know what I would
He
have told
probably
her?
listened. I look.
I'm not gonna go out with you. I'm gonna date your friend.
Most
Forget you.
women,
You
I
had
don't
your
know
chance.
too many women. Too many women are not going to want to go out with a guy who can't defend themselves, let alone protect her. Women want to be protected. They want to feel protected,
Okay,
right?
that's
If
fine.
she
That's
did,
fine.
so once
Like
she
I
saw
said,
that
but
he can do a little something, maybe she felt a little bit more secure. Like, okay,
I don't care.
you know,
She had her chance. I would have told her, "So you had your chance. I'm gonna go find somebody else. Hopefully, one of her friends."
he ain't had nobody else. He didn't
I
have
don't
a
care.
damn person. Even
There was
after
a
the
lot of
fight,
people
everybody
there.
just left him.
A lot of
Even after
people
the
there that
fight,
saw that
nobody
fight.
cared.
There's a lot of people there that saw that fight.
Yeah, they did, but they left. Nobody stuck around. They never said good job, congratulations. They just said, he did all right, good boy,
He can make
and
it
they
work.
just kind of walked away. She stuck around.
He can make it work. I'm just saying. I don't like that. That pissed me off. Anyhow, like you said, he was climbing the rope, talking to Chuck. He does eventually get into a fight after he has the asthma attack, and he kind of slows the training down. Now, like he wants to start doing gym, and the gym teacher, and this is crazy because you know what? I had a gym teacher, but
that was
this was
messed
my
up. That gym teacher was an asshole,
no,
bro.
this gym teacher was great. I had a gym teacher like that, but I think it was elementary school.
That's even worse.
It might have been junior high. I don't remember. I'd have to ask my brother because he's good at remembering that stuff. But I had a gym teacher similar to that guy.
I
Not as
never.
crazy. Like the stuff he was saying, some of the stuff he was saying, you couldn't say. But it was funny. So yeah, and of course, during his asthma attack, he's having a daydream about being tortured by someone, pulling a chain around his chest. And
You know what? That daydream was kind of messed up. That
It
daydream
was.
was messed up because that daydream Chuck was even tied up. Chuck was like, "Hold on, Barry. Hold on, Barry. I was like, shit, if you're caught, like I'm dead. There's nobody who's about to save me this time."
You know what though? Is this are these movies um I don't want to say racist, but do all Asian people have some kind of balm that they know how to rub on people to help them heal? Because I feel like, I mean, this is happening just like Mr. Miyagi. You get hurt, he has something, you're cured the next day. This guy does
I
the
think
same
it's
thing
just
to help him
I think
breathe.
it's just I don't think it's necessarily a racist thing. Now, don't kill me on this. I'm just trying to speak from a very objective point of view. All I'm saying is like I think Western philosophy is just known for more of like holistic health. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No,
Like
I think you're
like
right.
You mean
herbs, remedy, and
eat?
all that. Oh,
You mean
Eastern. Yeah, yeah. Sorry, we're Western. So Eastern
eat?
philosophy is more like holistic health, like herbs and using like nature and what's around you to heal you, as opposed to like. And I'm only saying this because even in like the Caribbean islands, they even say like it's all like the fast food you eat, it's the medicine that you use. If you
Mm-hmm.
use more like stuff from the earth, you'll actually heal better. So that's what I think of. I don't necessarily always see it as like a racist thing, and more or less just like an Eastern philosophy type of thing.
So we get to see them kind of stepping the training up, even though he said they were going to bring the training back, which kind of made me laugh. But now he's doing not on top of the kicking and the punching and the running and he's introducing him to breaking, which of course I never had that at the beginning of breaking, but I also started breaking when I was like 9. You break one board, you get to do a hammer fist, or you can do like a kick. And those 1-inch boards are no problem. Some of the kids had trouble with them for the most part. And
He's
then
having this kid start out with concrete. I was like, what the hell are you doing?
I know it was a little crazy. And then those nunchucks. I'm sorry. Okay, when you're learning to do nunchucks, steel or wood is not the good idea. You start off with
Always go
foam.
always go
And it's
foam.
it's good. Yes, you do foam because that kind of stuff is going to happen and it hurts. Okay.
Yeah.
And even when I got good with the nunchucks, I still picked up a pair of wood nunchucks and I had to get used to that weight. I whacked myself in the ear so many times
Oh,
in the head.
Hmm.
And then when you go between the legs for the first time and whack it, you're done. Don't do it ever again. Like,
Hmm.
so he's right. These things will sting you, whatever, but you can't give an amateur steel or wood nunchucks. I'm sorry. Start them off with foam.
what
And
do
now
you guys
that's
think of that
everybody
form?
does that.
I've always loved that form. That was a
Me
badass
too.
form that he did as a white ninja. Like that form, I
And
always wondered.
that
I
was the
always,
biggest
always
thing that
wondered how.
Wayne talked about because that was Wayne's form.
Yeah, I never understood why more people don't do nunchuck forms.
Because I've actually asked Jeff this,
Uh
because we had this talk at like a tournament. He said this to me before. He said because nunchucks is a harder weapon to master because you're doing two things at once and you may be going counterclockwise and clockwise
huh.
all in your same motion. So you're having to split your brain, and on top of that, it's just a harder weapon to manipulate and to do like the rolls around your wrist and all that stuff. So that's actually why. Because I've asked Jeff, I've asked him like, "Yo, how come like people don't do nunchuck forms, or how come a basic nunchuck form everyone goes oh, and then someone could do like a badass combo form, but they'll give a nunchuck form the nod sometimes." And he explained it to me. He said that's the reason why.
Jeff has a good nunchuck form. I like that form that he does.
Jeff,
And I
listen,
like that he
Jeff's
still
nunchuck.
incorporates the kicks. I like that he
Yeah,
still
Jeff.
incorporates those damn kicks.
Listen, Jeff. At one point, when one of the little kids in the movie, he did like the middle side, and then held the side kick up. I
Yeah.
was like, yo, like it's crazy because that's what Jeff still does in his form
Yeah,
now.
yeah. That was a thing in the 90s. I remember
Yeah,
people doing that. Yeah, I remember people
Jeff
doing that in
still
their form.
Jeff still does a '90s-esque type form. He added in some flavor from like the
Hmm.
new school, but he still holds true to like that '90s style. Can still win, which I think is dope. I think how you were saying, Joe. Jeff's nunchuck form is cool. I think at one point, I don't know if you guys saw it at WKC, he holds his foot out there, reaches in his gi, and pulls out the second nunchuck or pulls out the
Yes.
Yeah,
combo.
yeah. I did see him
Dude,
do it.
listen, when he did that, he first did that at when we went to Miami in Starcade. He was like, "You think I should do this?" I was like, "Yo, do it." And after he got done, I was like, "I'm not gonna lie to you, dude." I was like, "That was fucking awesome." Yeah, I was
Yeah.
like,
And
that was actually pretty cool.
one of the things when I was competing, I always thought would be fun to do would be to try and do weapons for him. I always thought it would be too long, but try to incorporate like multiple weapons, like 3 or 4 weapons.
Yeah, I've
Now,
seen people do that. Yeah, that I've also one thing I've always wished I would have seen someone do more successfully was a 3-section staff.
yeah,
Yeah.
I always wish I
think
would have
it's
seen
a
someone
tough
do
one
that
to
successfully.
master.
It
I've
is.
never even picked
It's
one
another
up.
one like nunchucks, like 3-section staff is tough. I think there's someone out there that did it. I forgot. I'm blanking on the name. I know Jeff will tell me
And we used
tomorrow.
to see a few people in the 90s doing those.
Oh, yeah,
Really?
and they
Okay.
won a lot because it was hard to do, but
Yeah,
when you
exactly.
master it, it's crazy.
Yeah.
So we see Barry his first gym class, and him and Randy Cellini or whatever, get into it, and Barry.
This guy, hold on, let's talk about Randy for a minute, because I didn't like this kid, man, because he would always do something, get caught, get in trouble, and then get mad at Barry for the dumb shit that he did.
I know.
I never understood that. Like, why are you getting mad at him? Like, that doesn't make any sense. So to me, that plays into the end of the movie for me, because so that's one reason. One reason I like the fact that they made it different from the Karate Kid and not have those two fight. But based upon this movie, how it was written, it almost made it seem like they needed to fight at the end, because once again, he lost to Barry at the end of the movie, and he should have still been even more embarrassed. He should have wanted to beat up Barry after the tournament, because that wouldn't have stopped their issue. He just got embarrassed doing his own thing to Barry.
Yes.
He should have wanted to beat him up even more. So when they go back to school on Monday, Barry's probably going to get a locker to the face. For real.
He might.
That would not
this
stop him.
fight,
Like, he would still be pissed.
this fight was
That's
okay,
what I'm
but
saying. That's what I'm saying. I wish they would have fought.
I get you. I get it. I understand.
They would have needed more time for him to actually train for it. And he's the one that came with the tournament flyer.
Yeah.
And so, I think it's almost more embarrassing because to lose against an amateur at your sport, which at the time was breaking, it's pretty sad. Let's get into the tournament because we're kind of short on time here. And
Now,
there's
the
really
tournament
nothing
didn't
else
make
to
any
do.
sense. The tournament doesn't make
You
any
see
sense
what
to
I'm
me.
saying though? That's what I was trying to say.
No, see, this is what I mean by that. Okay, the teacher lost. She lost hers. She lost to the Stone Karate. But Barry won his form. Barry won.
Mm-hmm.
Chuck won, and then the instructor won in breaking. So how was it tied?
I get what you're saying.
It made no
They won
sense.
3 events. They won
Yeah.
3 events to 1 event. So how is it 36-36?
It made no sense. I didn't understand that part. Now, can you guys explain that?
I don't have an explanation unless the first event, the Stone won first and she won third. They never really told us what
They
place
never
she got.
told us, but still 3 divisions to 1. I mean, maybe some divisions were scored higher or got more points. That's the only thing they could say. But still,
Only thing you could think of is maybe in point fighting, all the points you accumulated each match was tallied up.
Well, if that's the case, they would have won by a lot more because
Yeah.
I don't think Stone got any points on Chuck.
He didn't do anything. No,
he didn't. But that's yeah, you're right, because it was so tight at the end. Never mind.
It's so funny to me that when Chuck just kind of sits next to Barry and he looks up at him and he's like, "You're Chuck Norris." It's like, yeah, no shit.
Yeah.
So yeah, we start off. We got Mrs. Lee. She does her form and she loses, and then Barry does the nunchucks and wins. Of course, he daydreams into his ninja costume, which we all know is Wayne, not Barry, but it was a lot of fun. His story on that was cool. He said, he just went to the tryouts. He did his own nunchuck form, and they said, "Yep, we're going to put you in a ninja outfit, and you're going to go do the same exact form."
yeah, I believe he was Chuck Norris' student. I believe he said, right?
They have a program they do together.
Yeah.
So what Chuck Norris wore on his gi, UAF, EUAF or UAF, that is his style of Tang Sudo, and I think Wayne is like right under him. He's like someone. He's like in charge of it, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the braking for this, those are bigger sleds than I'm used to, and I don't think they have any dividers in between them because I do 1x1 inch soaps when I do the 10 or 15, and I can do 10 with a palm strike. And then someone told me the last time I tried 15 with a palm strike at a tournament, I broke 14, and they said I would have broke all the way if I do an arm, which makes sense because it's almost like a hammer coming down when you do the elbow.
Mm-hmm.
So, but trying to punch him like that, I mean, I guess he did his elbow at the end, but I couldn't imagine trying to punch, especially because those look like 2-inch thick bricks.
Yeah.
I think that would be rough. So, I don't know. That's crazy to me, but interesting. So the grandpa, he wins that division, like you said, and then Joe or Kelly Stone fights Chuck Norris, and he's talking the whole time. He takes
That
his
that
shirt
was
off.
one
He
of the
looks all
worst fight
crazy.
scenes ever. That was one of the worst. I don't think we've seen a worse fight scene in any of these movie reviews than that.
It was a lot, but I mean, Joe Piscopo does not seem like a karate guy, so I think he was just here to be.
His silly
funny.
antics took me
He's
out of
silly.
it.
Yeah, exactly, it did to me too. It was. I didn't like it as a kid either. This movie came out in '92. I was a kid. I didn't like it. Me and Travis both. Neither one of us liked it. It wasn't funny, and it was
Yeah.
supposed to be funny for us.
It was supposed to be a funny
Yeah.
kid movie. It wasn't.
It wasn't. Like
stupid.
everything that he does should have been in Three Ninjas, and it would have fit in
That's
Three Ninjas.
exactly what I said. The same thing.
Yeah.
You're not wrong.
And
You're
when
not
you
wrong.
watch it, it said people also search or recommended movies was Three Ninjas, and I was like, this guy fits more Three Ninjas.
Yeah, he definitely did. Yeah, he could have
Like
been a villain in
this,
some movie.
yeah. So
He
yeah,
definitely
I said the same
overacted
thing.
it for sure.
Yeah.
Too
Especially
much.
when he takes his shirt off and gets all
Yeah,
Well, that
I
made no
really hate
sense.
that part. I
That
really
made
hate
no
that part.
sense. That made no sense because he was wearing a gi top, and then when he took it off, he was wearing a kung fu sash. I was just like, what are
I didn't
we?
even pay attention to that, but okay.
When I saw
Yeah.
it, he was wearing a red kung fu sash. When I saw it, I was like, this doesn't even make any sense, like at all. What I did like, I will say this: one thing I did like was seeing the referee with the old school Stars and Stripes uniform. That was
that was
dope
nice.
to me. That was dope to me. I like that.
So comes down to a tie. They do a
Somehow.
tiebreaker with breaking, and Barry, dude's only broke like one brick in his life. Now he's gonna break what, 9 of them, 10 of them? I don't even know. Randy tries to put him away. They set up his break. He doesn't break them all the way. I think
He
he
breaks
loses
all of them
one.
except for one.
Yeah. Now in the tournaments I've done, if you don't break all of them, it doesn't count.
It doesn't
at all.
count.
This one,
It doesn't
Right,
count
it
they
at all.
doesn't
counted it. No, they counted it. They just
Yeah, they said he. I think they counted 8. Yeah, they counted 8 because
Yeah,
this
they did.
Barry
But he
Barry
didn't
had
get
to
it.
break 9.
Barry had to break 9 to win.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's a little
But it made
different
no
than-
sense. It would have just been a tie if he didn't win. They didn't have to say he needed 9 to win. He could have broke 1. If it didn't count, he could have broke 1. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, you're
Well,
right.
it
You're
did
right.
count.
He could
They
take all this
counted the
out and
8,
he won.
so he had to at least
Yeah,
break
that's what I'm
8 to
saying. So
stay
Gene, they counted 8.
alive.
It
I
counted
thought
8.
they said it didn't count because he didn't
They
break it all.
said that, but then when they followed up with that next sentence, it made no sense.
Yeah. Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Because
otherwise
realistically, if it didn't
Barry-
count, then why doesn't Barry just be easy to break 1 and call it a
Yeah.
day?
Yeah. Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
The uncle lights it on fire, which fire is just a trick. It doesn't help you break the bricks. Okay,
Well-
you do it because it looks cool. It's fun,
Yeah.
but it doesn't make the bricks easier to break.
Well, I wouldn't think that it would make it easier. Or else they'll say, "Hey,
the
bitch,
uncle was like,
you
the
can't do
uncle
this."
was trying to say, the uncle was trying to say like it'll soften them, and it doesn't. It just makes it look fun and cool. And as long as you don't burn yourself. And then for whatever reason here at the end, he has a nice little talk with Chuck, and then we see this kid in a wheelchair. He comes up and grabs the ripped magazine and drives off. And I used to always think like they were going to do a second one with that kid.
Yeah, I did too.
No,
That's what
yeah.
I mean. They could have
And
made
maybe
it happen.
they were thinking about it. Maybe they were thinking about it and they just never did it. But
Did you guys
go-
ever have? I actually have that magazine.
No, I don't.
yeah, I had a subscription, so
Yeah, I still have my subscription. The Black Belt magazine, I actually had it.
Yeah, I used to think that he was talking to Chuck at the end of that movie, but that was the Chuck that's in his head. not the real Chuck that was.
I always
So
said that
that's
too,
what I
like,
wanted to
which
know.
one?
Thank you.
Yeah, that was the Chuck because when he turns around, he's gone. And I used to be like, damn, Chuck ain't gonna say bye to the rest of the team. He's just gonna leave like that. But
That's what I
now
always
as an
wondered that.
adult, I know that was the one that was in his head. So, all right.
Makes sense.
So, what grade are we giving this movie? I don't even remember what I gave it the last time.
We have to go back and listen because I'm curious.
Yeah,
But I thought about this. Good movie. I've always enjoyed this movie. To me, it still holds up. So I'm gonna go B+.
I was gonna go B-.
yep. I'm going with B+ also. Like I said, like I only thing I really didn't like was the silliness, Joe Piscopo and the silliness in the daydream. Other than that, it had a good message. It would have been cool if they could have figured out a way to do the ending where Randy and Barry could have, had some type of conflict, which was not like the Karate Kid. Maybe they could have had another fight outside of the tournament, like a real fight, and Barry defended himself. Because I just don't see like the way this kid acted throughout the whole movie. It seemed like when they got back to school on Monday, he would have had a problem with him, especially getting embarrassed at his activity. So,
Probably.
yeah. All right. So that was Sidekicks. What's next, Joe?
Well, I've talked about a few things, and I had some ideas now, and I will say because the new Karate Kid movie, and I know we kind of skipped this earlier, is going to be the Jackie Chan version of Miyagi with Daniel.
Mm-hmm. That's
So I
going to
thought
be
about
interesting.
just yeah.
That's gonna be
So
interesting.
I thought we could watch the other one, which I don't know your guys' opinion. Not my favorite movie, but I don't hate it.
What were you talking about?
The new Karate Kid movie with Jaden Smith and Jackie Chan. And then I think you guys said we'll probably try and do that closer to Cobra Kai, maybe somewhere around there if we do
So
it
wait,
all.
can I just ask a question really quick, just so I can make sure I'm on the same page? They're doing a new Karate Kid movie, or the next season of Cobra Kai after season 6
No,
is
they're
going to
doing a
have?
new Karate Kid movie. Both.
Yeah, they're doing Cobra Kai 6. But after Cobra Kai 6, they're going to have a new Karate Kid movie, and Daniel is in it, and also, Jackie Chan, the Jackie Chan character from the Jaden Smith Karate Kid.
Which they'll probably pop up now in the.
I think
Cobra
so.
Kai.
I mean, that would only make sense for one of them. I don't want to see Jaden Smith pop up, but
Me neither. Now,
if
he's
Jackie
too
Chan
weird and
pops up,
crazy now.
yeah.
So I thought we could do that at some point, but we don't have to do it now.
Yeah, that's fine.
And
Yeah,
I
we
also,
can do that
just
closer to the movie.
because it's on streaming right now and we can find it, the Kung Fu Panda movies, which I know we talked about a while ago, and they're actually, I enjoy those movies, so
They're not bad.
We can watch
it'll be something different to talk about, and they have their own little charm to them.
I'm down.
Okay, let's do the first Kung Fu Panda then.
All right, man.
You guys got any closing
good.
remarks? Anything you guys want to plug? Anything push? Anything?
Nah, man, let's go blue. Bring home that natty. Let's go.
All right. Everybody, stay safe, stay strong. We'll holler at you next week, and I will play our music.
Disaster must come. At best, only postponed. Shaolin Kung Fu, to survive, must now be taught to more young men.